I'm going to use examples to show how we use arrays. So the first example will be we want to check if the element if an element is in the array. So first, let's create an array first. Let's create a C file. Let's create an array first. Say int array. Let's say equal to 1 through none. And we want to check an element if it's an array. Let's get an element from a user. Let's say printf. Define number. So we want to check if this number is in the array or not. And let's see how we check it. First, we need to get the size of the array. So it's a int array, but we don't know what's the size of the array, how many elements does it have. So we have to get the size first. So we use size of the array divided by the size of array 0. So basically the size of array 0 is 4 because it's an int type. So we can also do size of int. And the array, the size of the ARR, that will be so it has 9 elements here, so it will be 4 times, because it's 4 bytes for integer, 4 times 9. So that's the total size of ARR, and the size of the int will be 4, because that's how much address or the memory it need to store the int type. So basically, this is the size for the array. That will be 9, and we can go through the array, and if the elements equal to the numbers, that means we can print out the result. So let's say the number is in the array. If not, we just print out the number is not in the array. Now it's right. So let's check a number. Let's say 10. So 10 is not in the array. It just print out not in the array. So it print out 10 times. Let's put this outside of the while loop or the for loop here. So we undo for. Or we could put a flag here. If the array equals that, we can put a break there. That means it's in the array. If else, it's not in the array. So if we find the number, we just break out of the for loop, and after we go through each number, if not, we just print out it's not in the array. Or we could put flag here, let's say in flag equal to 0. If we find number equal to 0 or equal to the number, we can change the flag to 1. Else we can use the flag equal to 0. So after we go through all the numbers, we can just end of the loop, and we can check if the flag equal to 1. That means the number is in the array. Else, that means the flag equal to 0. We can say the number is not in the array. Now let's run it again. So let's give a number 10 again. So the number 10 is not in the array. Let's run it again. We give it 5. So the number is in the array. Check another number, let's say 9. 9 is also in the array. So if it finds the number, it will reset the flag to 1. And when we have the flag 1, it will run through all the numbers. If we have the flag equal to 1, that means the number is in the array. If the flag is still 0, that means the number is not in the array. Now let's check another example. Let's say we want to count the elements. I say how we want to find out how many times one element appear in the array. How could we check the elements? So now let's change this to func1, and we can create another main function. So let's create an array first. Say int array released. So let's just give it a random number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say 3, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 5, 6, and 7. So this is our array, and the first thing we see, need to get the size. So we use the size of the array list and divided by size of int. So size of the int is 4, size of the array list is 4 byte times how many numbers we have here. So this is the size of the array. And let's define the count. I define it as an array, so we can record, the count for each number. I say 1. So we have a counter for 1. If it's once, so the count for count 0 will be for record the count for 1, how many times 1 appears. So that will be the size. So this is how many elements we need, or how many counts we need to store for the count. So that will be the size of the count. So this is the array count, the count array. So we use this to store how many times the element appears. And we can initialize the count array. So we can set all the count equal to 0 or -1. So count I, that's how we initialize the count array. So before we start counting all the elements, it's -1 in this array. And now we can go through each element. So we start from the first one, 1. And if we find the array or the elements are equal, let's put an element count. Initialize the element count. Element start from 1. So let's start from 1. And if we array list, if array list I equal to array list y or j, so we need to have another loop to go through. So this is our start, and start from, let's say we start from 1, and 1 need to compare with the rest, so we need to go through all the rest. We need to have another for loop. Let's say in j start from I plus 1, start from the element after it, and till the end. So if we want to start from 1 need to compare with the rest. And if we start from 2 need to compare with the rest. So we always start from the I plus 1. And if we find the array list I equal to array list j, that means we have 2 same elements. Now we can increment the count. So element plus plus, that will increase the count for this element. And we mark the element after this one equal to 0. So that equal to 0. That will mark the elements counted. So we already count that. We already count the element. Let's say 2 is compared with this 2, and we can just mark this one count j equal to 0. That means we already count that one. So that's how we go through each element, and if they equal, we increment the count for the element. And after the loop, we can check for the next element. So at this one, we can check if the count equal to, for this element, if count j or count I, if that element not equal to 0, that means it's not counted. So the count I not equal to 0. If it's not equal to 0, we can set the count I equal to the element. That's how many times that so records the counter for the element. So if it's not 0, that means that it's not counted, and we can reset the count array to see how many times that element appears. And after we go through each element, so that is, we start from 0, I equal to 0, so 1, and it will compare with the rest. If we find the equal ones, we element plus plus, and at the end, if it's not counted, we set the element count or how many times it appears to this array. Let's say it's we counting 1, so it's I equal to 0. And count I, it's not marked, so it's we set j from I plus 1, so that's after the first one. So let's say if we have 2, the second one, I equal to 1. So element equal to 1. And we have 3, 2. So if we have this one, 2, the j is at this position. Count j when I reach to this one, it already marked, it's already counted. So it will just assign that count to 0. So it won't reset as I run this one. So it just say it's already counted. So 2 appears 3 times. So the counter for 2 is 3. So after we go through each one, we can print out the result. So printf, let's say elements, and we can do search t table k. And appear times. Or count. And then we can print out we can go through the loop, the count array. So we can print out the result. So it's less than I equal to less than size, and we can print out the count. So here that will be array list I. So that's the element, and this is the count for it. So if it's already counted, that will be this one. Or we can check if count I not equal to 0, that means if it's 0, that means it's already counted. So when it's not 0, we can print out the result. If it's 0, that will be the same as that will be repeat element. So let's just print out the result not equal to 0 first. Let's see the result. So the element is 1 through 9. 1 appears 1 time, and 2 appears 3 times. 3 appears 3 times. 9 1 time. So that's the result here. If we don't check if it's not equal to 0, it will. Let's see the result. So it just print out the repeat elements here. So from here, 2 it's already counted, 2 already counted, so it will just print out all the elements, and if it's already counted, that will be 0 because we didn't assign anything if it's already counted. So we will check the array I. If it's equal to 0, that means it's already counted. So the counter will be for the first time it appears. So now that will fill out all the 0 counts. I hope you understand more about how we use arrays, how we count the elements, how we get the array size. Let's see here. Since it's an int type array, so size of the array list, that will be the total size of this group of numbers. That will be the continuous memory in the RAM. We just store the array, create an array here. And here we'll get the array size. And after that, we just create a count array that can store how many times the numbers or the elements appears in this array list. Alright, this is everything for this video. Thank you for watching.